Oh god. Need a drink on this one, my god. Need a drink.
Yeah. Why are we just why are we going to 1984, man? Like, dog.
Please free me from the bad takes about China's gaming restrictions. Okay, Kotaku, what are the bad takes? From you, yes, please free me from you. There's no one-size-fits-all take when you're dealing with millions of diverse gamers. What do you mean?
Okay.
What do you mean?
I don't care about your diversity. I don't care about your race. I don't care about your nationality. I don't care about your ethnicity. If you say that you are a gamer and then you are limited to play games to 1 hour a day, you will complain. I don't care about any other thing.
It's not that hard to comprehend. Come on, yeah.
Like, if you are a gamer and then you got restricted by the law to only play games 1 hour a single day, you're gonna complain. I don't care what you are. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you're from. You're gonna complain.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I need some stress reliever on this one. So Streamlabs links down below.
Easy,
if we can make it to #1, that'll be super swell. Just #1. That's all I need. Nice #1. $69. With $64 left. Come on, y'all. That'll be super swell. Just one on this week. That'd be great. The $64 more before we get to the goal. Anyway, starting from September 1st, players under 18 years of age are restricted to 1 hour of gaming a day on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and public holidays. That's about like 3 hours a week, as I said in my video, right? The restrictions imposed on players don't come from a law. The restrictions imposed on the players don't come from a law.
Okay.
Keep that in mind. It's an industry regulation recently passed by the National Press and Publication Administration, or NPPA. As a parallel example, imagine that you're an American company that wants to dump radioactive waste into a lake, and the Environmental Protection Agency said that you can't do that. That's a really weird
You suck
comparison.
at making analogies.
That is a really odd comparison. Doesn't explain crap to me. But also, regulations are specific rather than broadly applied to a populace. The NPPA is a government regulator, but it's not law. It's not law.
It's industry. You said it's the industry, not the law.
The NPPA is a governmental regulatory branch that oversees print, online, and broadcast media more broadly, but it's not law.
It's not law.
Oh my god.
It's like it's not law. If you break it, you're gonna deal with the government, but it's not law. It's not law.
If you break this regulation, you're gonna deal with the government, but it's not law. It's not law. This writer just goes, well, actually, you see, the NPPA is actually not a government it is a government regulation, but it's not actually a law. It's actually just a regulation. Yeah, I know the organization is being controlled by the government, but come on, yeah.
Why?
Law light. More like. Under regulate, check on Corporate Shield on this one. God damn. Under regulations.
It's law plus. It's law plus, man. Like, this is law plus.
Law plus, straight up, right? Under the regulations, gaming companies are tasked with preventing minors from accessing their games during certain times and to boot players after they run out of their allotted time. Again, these are only apply for like online games. I'm pretty sure that China does not have any way for you to detect offline games or pirated games in general. But then again, maybe they're gonna reduce your social credit or whatever. Whatever sorts of dystopian authoritarian thing that they're doing right there. My god. Jintong Zhu, I don't trade it to $1. It's not law should be a song. I don't know why. Get that autotune. Get that autotune ready. Actually, no, I'm not gonna do that. Anyway, thank you so much for the donation. Keep them coming, ladies and gentlemen. Streamlabs links down below. If you can make it to 69, that'd be swell. Anyway, Jingtong Zhu, publishing manager at a Chinese gaming company, told Kotaku that Chinese games have previously been restricted to an hour and a half on weekdays. James H donated $5. Here's my one-size-fits-all take. Stop trying to nanostate your people and let them live their lives. This is why communism is cancer. You must take totalitarian action to force the people to do what you want in order to get anything done. Also, the people at the top, the government, the people on the top, they're the ones who are living in luxury, while we are the ones who don't live in luxury. At least with capitalism, we get the chance to live in luxury. But in the other economics methods, you can. There's none.
I still support communism. I still support communism in friend circles, though.
Thank you so much for the donation. Keep them coming. Right, seriously, if you got your friends coming in, they got the snack. Yeah. They got big ass freaking snack, right?
They got a big bag of Doritos, right?
Big bag of Doritos.
If that's the time, you have 4 people in a bunch of friends.
You have to enforce your communist policies on your friends. Enforce them.
This is our bag of Doritos. This is not yours.
Comrade.
This is ours.
Comrade. That is not your snack. That is our snack.
That is our snack. Yeah. So that's why I am a huge believer of friend circle communism.
Anyway.
Every time you got a homie who hasn't had lunch yet, and then we're like, hey, time to square up some money and buy the homie lunch. But the problem is the lunch is gonna be shared by all 4 of us.
Oh man. Anyway,
communism, man. Friend circle communism.
Where was I? Jingtong Zhu, a publishing manager at a Chinese gaming company, told Kotaku that Chinese games have previously been restricted to 1.5 hours on weekdays and 3 hours on weekends and holidays. So the latest mandate is an extreme tightening of government regulations that have already existed since 2019. And so what? It's still bad? I have also complained about this back in 2019. Excuse me, y'all. Just because we only complain about it now, that doesn't make it not bad. It's still bad.
Why this is appropriate for Don't Trust China?
Yeah, seriously, it's absolutely 100% appropriate.
Absolutely fucking appropriate for Don't Trust China.
Don't trust China. China is asshole.
Why do these rules exist? While it might be tempting to generalize the Chinese government as inherently regulatory, they are. They absolutely are. I mean,
why? Remember
Don't trust
that
China. China is asshole.
Remember that woman who's complaining about why someone who writes about dumplings are not from China or not from like Asian? Remember that woman?
Yeah, I remember.
I'm gonna be the same as that woman. Why are people who are not in China writing about Chinese regulation?
I don't know, fam. If you look at the name, it's very, very Chinese.
But are they in there though? Like I think I am brave enough to bet if they are in fact in China, they wouldn't probably be able to publish this article in the first place. I would probably take that bet.
That's a very good very good question. James H into $1. This is like the government seeing a drug dealer on the corner, and instead of stopping the guy from selling drugs, telling people that they're only allowed to do drugs once a day.
Yeah, that's a better analogy than industries taking a dump or like this is dumb. That's a way better analogy.
Thank you so much for the donation. Keep them coming.
Let people do drugs only once a day.
Thank you so much for the donation. Keep them coming. Let's see if we can make it to 69. Anyway, where was I? Daniel Ahmed. It's important. While it might be tempting to generalize the Chinese government as inherently regulatory, it's not tempting. They are. It's important to consider that the gaming landscape in China is very different than in North America and Europe. Okay? Elaborate, please. Daniel Ahmad of Nico Partners told Kotaku that around 92 to 95% of games made in China are based on a free-to-play model. So are a lot of games released outside of China and everywhere. Fortnite is free-to-play. I think CSGO is free-to-play. League of Legends is free to play. Lots of games are free to play. Genshin is free to play.
Yeah,
seriously, and they're all popular games.
They're pay to win. They're pay to win, but they're free to play.
Mobile games are also free to play. There are lots of players who play that. It's really not that much different. It's really not that much different. I suppose the intensity of the free to play. There's a lot more people who play free to play games in China than actual like single player console games, but still. It's really not that much different. Anyway, So while most Kotaku readers might think of first-party titles or self-contained indie games as what video games are, no. The most popular games that we have right now are multiplayer free-to-play games.
Multiplayer, yeah.
Those are the most popular games, not just in China, but everywhere in general.
Everywhere in general, yeah. Like
there's a reason why Genshin Impact is so popular.
You have CS, you have like Valorant. All those are very, very multiplayer, online-based, free-to-play games.
Yeah. It's kind of surprising. No, Kotaku readers might think, no, I'm pretty sure you're not referring to Kotaku readers. Yeah. Kotaku readers, I'm pretty sure, are playing the latest and greatest, like the most popular games, right? Not the single player, the games that you should actually care about. But anyway, most Chinese players will probably think of a free multiplayer online battle arena mobile game like Honor of Kings, which is basically just like a League of Legends clone, right? Or a gacha game like Genshin Impact, which is popular outside of China as well. So this means that gaming addiction and delinquent spending, two qualities associated with these type of games, are much more prevalent concern in China compared to in the West. Not really. There are issues in both. I wouldn't say one is more prevalent than the other, but I will say that they are bad, but in different ways. In the West, for example, people are spending a lot more money on games that they already paid. FIFA is a good example.
Yeah.
The FIFA people who play FIFA Ultimate Team, lots of people paid lots of money in those. Let me reset my ASIO here as it's trying to crackle. Yeah, lots of people pay money on that, and lots of EA got lots of money from the profits on online FIFA, right? Lots of people play that, right? So it's amazing. It's amazing how much greed that game companies can go through just to exploit the living crap out of the players. The Western gaming companies do it in a different way than the Chinese gaming companies, but they're both bad. They're both bad. This means that gaming addiction and delinquent spending, to overread that, but regulators are also part of why Chinese gaming turned out very differently compared to gaming in other countries. For example, Zhu mentioned that China's 15-year-old console ban was also motivated by concerns about video game addiction, a ban that arguably led to the popularity of free-to-play games. Yeah, we also talk about this in my previous video. I talk also about this in the previous video, where Chinese market is only recently opening their gates to the actual proper gaming consoles like the Switch or the PS4 or whatever, right? But it doesn't sell very well because most people, the one that dominates a lot in the Chinese gaming market and also the Asian gaming market in general, are free-to-play games on mobile. Those two, free-to-play games on mobile.
That's a legit thing that like everywhere I go here around, even in Indonesia, like in Indonesia in general, like everywhere I go, if they talk about gaming, like if they talk about gamers and all that, all the gaming culture, all they can think about is the mobile scene, right? Because like I always go, maybe like if I found if I'm talking to a random person and then like we struck up into the conversation and some way we found the topic of gaming, right? All they can say is about like mobile games, like because like for example, I had this conversation with my barber. So my barber said that he was a gamer. He said that he plays a lot of games, right? I was like, okay, cool. I also am a gamer. I also like to play a lot of games. And then I told him he asked me, right? He asked me, what games are you playing now? What are the recent games that you're playing now? And then I said, nowadays I've been playing Apex Legends, right? Do you know what he said? Can you guess what he said?
I don't know what that is.
He said, no, that's not what he said. It's worse. He said, wait, is that available in Google Play? Exactly. Because that's the market here. That's the big things here. The big things here are mobile games that are free to play. Because that's the only thing that the people know. That's the only gaming consoles that they have.
Do you know that I think Dan Pot said something like this, like the PC gamers look down at the console gamers, and then both of them look on the filthy mobile gamers, right?
Yeah, that exactly. That captures it. Exactly.
So yeah,
I was just saying Apex Legends, and he's like, yeah, is that available on Google Play? Can I download it now? No, it's on PC. I play it on my laptop. It's like, oh, okay. And then he said, oh, the graphics gonna be good, right? Yeah, duh.
Oh man, seriously. Yeah, majority of people here in Asia, and of course, especially in China, they play on mobile because they need mobile phones. They absolutely need mobile phones.
They all have mobile phones. They all have mobile phones. Not all have game consoles, but all have mobile phones.
Yeah.
That's like the simple reasoning.
They absolutely do need those. So it's, and PC is still there. The PC market is still there. In fact, the PC market is more accessible than like the console market. But it's still very, very dominated to mobile. A lot of the gaming market here is very much mobile oriented. And that's why it's a lot easier for the Chinese government to implement regulations, because most gamers on China play mobile, online games on mobile. The regulations gonna apply there. So if you're playing if you're playing single player Skyrim on China, you're gonna be mostly free. Mostly. You still have the Chinese government to think about there that restrict your other stuff. China's lucrative 360 million esports industry. Okay, hold on a second. China's lucrative esports industry?
I mean, I gotta say, China is pretty big on some esports. China has some competing power in some esports, like in Dota, for example. In Dota, do you know that every 2 years the Chinese will win in the international? So yeah, I will say that they have a good competition in terms of esports. But
I don't know if
those esports. The esports that that the Chinese are, like, I know for a fact that are good at competing at is the esports that are in PC, which means that minors can't get into esports, essentially, if that's the case now.
Yeah, because what I'm trying to say is that considering how usually with authoritarian governments they have like mandatory drill trainings for like that sort of stuff. Maybe are there like any drill trainings for esports players
Dude,
just to compete?
I'm guessing there would be, man. I'm guessing there would be. I don't think that's far-fetched.
Yeah, but poses another complication to a clear-cut anti-gaming narrative. Hold on a second. Is the bad take that China is anti-gaming? Is that the bad take? Because I wouldn't say that. I can see why people say that, but I wouldn't say that. I say that China is very, very restrictive, very authoritarian in terms of what they control on people.
If they're anti-gaming in general, they wouldn't make it a restriction. They would outright ban it if they're anti-gaming.
If they are anti-gaming, they would outright ban it. So I need citation on the people who claim that they are anti-game, because I'm pretty sure, because this article is basically, well, actually, if you say that China is anti-gaming, well, did you know that China's esport is actually really, really big? And I'm like, what? That still doesn't dismiss the fact that the players are restricted.
Yeah.
It doesn't dismiss that.
Here.
It doesn't dismiss the fact that anti-gaming for the players. If you say, oh, but China is not anti-gaming because it has esports in it and it spends a lot of money on esports, like, so? This does not refute the argument. I'm sorry. According to Zhu, regional governments like City of Shanghai are very supportive of both the esports and game development industries. And that doesn't dismiss the fact that they regulate people to play the games. Yeah, you can spend how much money on those this freaking industries, right? But if no one's playing your games, then what's even the point?
What's even the point? Yeah.
So for a company like me, I don't know. How do I put this? How do I put this in a very how do I put this in an analogy? But anyway, just gonna continue. For a company like MiHoYo, which ranked 88th amongst all Shanghainese companies in terms of income, its tax contribution is an important part of the local economy. Okay.
That's good. Good for the economy.
Okay. At the national level, the Ministry of Education started categorizing esports management as an official major in 2016. Again, this does not refute the argument that China is still restricting children to play video games. They're restricting it does not refute the argument. It does not refute anything. It's pretty ridiculous to make broad statements about how the Chinese government, what level, which branch, any specific individual. All of them.
Yeah.
Do you want to be? Do you want to be super specific? You already did. You already did make it super specific. And it doesn't really matter when you say the government controls the corporations regulate the people who are their customers. That's the point of this entire exercise. You don't have to be specific. At the end of the day, that's what matters. You're just distracting the overall issue. So, oh, but you can't exactly name the very specific organization, government, or you can't specify the name of the corporation that goes into this. Does that even matter to the conversation when people's freaking freedom and rights are being violated? Irrelevant. It's seriously. Oh, I'm playing Jason. I'm playing Jason.
I fail to recognize the correlation.
It's necessary. It's pretty ridiculous to make broad statements about the Chinese government is necessarily anti-gaming. Depends on who you ask. You can definitely make that argument, but you're not exactly convincing me that China isn't anti-gaming, because this has nothing to do with what people are complaining about, which is the restrictions.
Yeah.
We're not complaining. China definitely has esports. We're not complaining that. Anyway, Shanghai has been ever welcoming to foreign offices such as Ubisoft and Activision. And
cool.
Nice of you to name two companies that recently got involved in scandals as your examples. But hey,
that's a good point.
Nice.
That's a good point.
Nice.
Good point.
It's like nice of you to name two specific companies that recently got involved in scandals as allies for China. Great examples.
Yeah,
really supportive. Really supportive to
God.
gaming in general. Amazing. Amazing, Kotaku. I am standing behind the gamers in this one. Yeah, I am totally convinced because Ubisoft and Activision, two of the worst freaking game companies, are cooperating with China. Talk about evil incarnate, man. Jesus.
Damn.
You played yourself on this one, my lord.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Oh, so it's weird to see a lot of takes that portray China as an anti-gaming industry. Considering that they work with Ubisoft and Activision, I can safely say for 100% certainty, yes, they are anti-gaming. 100%. 100%. Now that you mention all of that, your argument's off the window. They work with Ubisoft and Activision. that you have no argument. You have no argument. I am 100% convinced China is anti-gaming. Straight up. You shot yourself in the foot. My lord. This is the biggest esports market in the world. Right.
Right.
Irrelevant. I failed to recognize.
I fail to recognize the correlation.
In the country with the most gamers, there's not a single Chinese interest when it comes to gaming. There's not a single Chinese interest when it comes to gaming, and the country's president isn't the one calling all the shots.
Wait. Here's the problem, right? This person said it themselves, right? In the country with the most gamers, right? In the country with the most gamers, that doesn't mean shit when the gamers can only play for 1 hour a day. Like,
it's really not that hard to comprehend.
With most gamers, no matter how big the amount of gamers there are, if you restrict them, well, they're not. They're gonna be happy. Come on. This is dumb.
Seriously, especially if you restrict it to adults. Now, this is restricted to children, right? It can maybe go to, maybe it already have gone to adults, to the point where they're restricting adults. No, adults should not play games, and not should not play games at all. They should work to contribute to the CCP, right? Oh, man. Yeah, I'm playing. You just lost all cred. I am totally playing. You just lost all cred.
You just lost all of your cred, dude. That's right.
Yeah,
that's
right.
What you should do right now.
That's what you should do right now. Consider that.
Don't trust China as well.
No. That would imply that Kotaku has cred.
Don't trust China. China is asshole.
Consider that not all Chinese minors are affected equally. Irrelevant.
Wait.
That's a completely
not all
irrelevant.
Chinese minors are affected. Wait. What? What does that mean?
Maybe some got more restrictions. Maybe some don't. I don't.
What?
I don't.
I fail to recognize the correlation.
I fail to recognize the correlation. I fail.
That's dumb.
As one might imagine, players' experiences are heavily influenced by factors such as gender and class. The New York Times states that parents were largely the driving force behind the new gaming restrictions, but it leaves off some important data from the report that it cites. According to the report from the Beijing Youth Legal Aid and Research Center, over 90% of minors with gaming addiction problems are boys, and roughly 70% come from blue-collar families. And
It's not really the government's responsibility.
I fail to recognize the correlation.
And most gamers are men. It's not secret. If nearly 2/3 of parents report a gaming addiction issue are laborers, then it reframes the narrative of the restrictions as an initiative that is mostly relevant to working families. The report noted that children often receive mobile games when their parents can't afford professional childcare. So in other words, the parents can't do the parenting, so they ask the government to do the parenting for them. That's what I'm trying to take here. And you think this is a good thing?
No. No way. This is not responsibility of the government, man. Like, simple enough.
You seriously think that this is a good thing, Ryder? It's not. It's not. That would mean that the family, the actual parents, does not have a lot of control. Actually, because they live in China, they don't have a lot of control in general. But they prioritize contributing more. They prioritize contributing more to the CCP than they are to their own children. Wow. It's insane. Even after the gaming restrictions went into effect, I don't think they'll resolve the factors that cause aggrieved parents to demand stricter regulations to begin with. While I don't claim that free-to-play games are blameless, the problems that the restrictions are trying to address are partially caused by external socioeconomic factors. In other words, the parents have to submit to the CCP or else they're gonna get bad social credit scores. And they have to spend their time to the government because otherwise they can't spend their time to children at all. No, not at all. China already has a gray market for PC and console games. Yeah, we talk about this. There are holes in the regulations. We talk about this. Zhu explained to Kotaku that since Steam is an overseas operation, it isn't held to the same regulatory standards. In fact, Steam had around 30 million Chinese users in 2018. Virtual private networks or VPNs are another popular way to gain access to video games. But the NPPA's new regulation mostly target mobile games by design. Again, we've established this last video. There are holes in the regulations. However, even mobile players aren't completely out of luck. According to Nico Partners' Ahmad, parents are barred from giving their unrestricted adult accounts aren't barred from giving their unrestricted adult accounts to their children. Again, as I said in my previous video, the parents can just award their children with their adult account and use their adult account to play whatever games they want to play, or buy their adult accounts from the black market.
So essentially, the parents are at fault. The government tries to do something. But what the government did can still be, you know,
the government did not enough.
Go run around.
The government didn't do enough.
By the parents again.
The government didn't do enough.
At the end of the day, the parents are at fault again. Just go back to a loop.
It's stupid. If an underage player wanted to, they could circumvent new restrictions. But not every gamer is necessarily tech savvy, and such a far-reaching regulation may have unforeseen consequences again.
You don't have to be tech savvy. Like, you don't have to be tech savvy. If something was taken away from you, you will try to get it. However tech savvy you have to be.
There is a will, there is a way. And let me tell you, children will find whatever ways they can to rebel against the system. That's what children do. They rebel. You give them rules, they try to fight it. And if those rules, if those barriers consist of, oh, I don't know a thing or two about technology, they're gonna overcome it.
They're gonna overcome it. Yeah.
They're gonna learn. They're gonna overcome it.
To take back what was taken off from them.
Yeah.
To get it back.
I can't imagine like a Chinese fetus uprising against the gamers.
Oh, this is like imagine like a bunch of people outside of like the CCP or like the big office of the CCP. There's a bunch of people, and then the people inside is like, there's not even the police in there. There's youth in there.
That ain't even police at the rule. That's youths in there.
Youths in there.
Oh man,
because the fetuses are uprising.
Never underestimate gamers, and especially never underestimate children gamers. They're gonna shout at you and tell you that they fuck your mom in Call of Duty.
Yeah, of course.
Or at least back in the 2010s.
That's youths in there.
Back in 2010s, they do that. They do the same thing now, but in Fortnite.
No, but they do the same thing now in Fortnite, and then on top of that, they dance on you.
I mean, it reminds me of that stupid last week, the Fortnite hoopla where they have to watch MLK's speech and the children are literally just.
Oh God, that's dumb. Who thought of that? Please fire him. Come on.
So where does that leave us? My sources agreed that the severity of the restrictions are unique, even if the methods of enforcing them aren't. Personally, I've admired how Japan has implemented consumer regulations on gacha spending. On whom? On adults? On adults? Frankly speaking, at the end of the day, gacha is
What did the
gambling.
Japanese do?
Well,
Yeah, what did the Japanese do?
no idea. But one thing I do know for sure is that spending your money on gacha is dumb financial decision. Straight up.
Yeah, it's not the government's fault. It's your fault.
It's not exactly the government's fault. You have, at least in Japan, you have the freedom not to spend money on gacha. But NPBA's new regulation seems too far-reaching. While the economic disruption in the industry is projected to be survivable, the effects of millions of players' lifestyles are much more difficult to predict. Chinese players aren't a monolith and each have their own personal relationship to gaming. Industry doesn't solely define gaming, the players do too. And you know what defines Kotaku? Bad gaming takes. Oh god, I need a drink. Oh man, this is so
The industry
stressful.
doesn't solely define gaming. The players do. Well, yeah, when the players are uprising, of course they are.
Oh,
of
man.
course they do.
Is this Gamers Rise Up? Is this Gamers Rise Up time? So should we
This is
play?
literally Gamers
I'm playing
Rise Up.
this.
Society. We live in a society.
Society. We live in a society where gamers rise up.
Oh man,
I mean, gamers will rise up if you take their games out of them. Like, come on.
it's not that hard to comprehend. Anyway, Enzo
Yeah.
Tori 31 buck. Rick, I'm cracking 90s, Morty. I'm cracking fucking 90s. Thank you so much for the donation. Keep them coming, ladies and gentlemen. Streamlabs, links down below. 13. That's $56 more before you get to 69. If my calculation is correct, which always isn't because I'm bad at math. Anyway, thank you so much for the donation. Keep them coming, ladies and gentlemen. Streamlabs, links down below. If you can make it to nice number 1 on this stream, that would be appreciated. We still have a bunch of things to talk about on the stream.
Comrade Waluigi.
China will limit minor. Yeah, with this news, and Comrade Waluigi reacts to this like, why?
When a comrade reacts like that.
Excuse me, comrade. You are not supposed to question the government. I'm just saying, this is not. You should enforce this to your comrades as well, comrade. Oh man, comrade Waluigi. It's dumb.